Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather update here on Facebook Live. Now, we're going to wait a little bit till we get a lot of folks joining us here, which we should have here in a little bit. We're going to go into the weekend. It's Monday, obviously, a lot of folks out there, a lot of photos being sent into it, our social media as well as our own Facebook page here as well, and also our regular email. Some people saying that it's clearing up, while others saying it's not, it's getting worse, and so we're going to wait for that Wednesday report. Also, I've got a call into a particular person who tests the water in Venice. I'm going to find out what his counts were today. But a little update on the red tide. There's not a lot to tell you. I can tell you this, though, personally. I took a little boat ride with the family up through the Manatee River. There was no hints of red tide through it. And we went across Tampa Bay, and there were no hints of any red tide, no dead fish. We got over to Egmont Key. The water didn't look as blue as it can at times, but it was not bad. There were no hints of red tide, no problems. There were people out there. We were swimming, and so it wasn't much of a problem. That's a little bit of what we had. Now, again, thanks for joining us. I'm going to have a little update now on red tide. If you didn't see this graphic before, this is a new graphic that was put out by the FWC, and I think they're going to start to do a little bit more because there's so much interest in the red tide and what it means for us here along the community. You can see from Pinellas all the way down to Monroe County, I have it highlighted. And as far as that goes, we have had some changes as of late. Again, no samples over 100,000 reported in Monroe County or Pinellas County. And then as far as Lee County goes, this is a good sign, at least. Greater than 25% lower count. This was put out on Friday. And as we move up the coast, it was also 5 to 25% lower. And what we mean by lower is that's the a number of cells per liter, and it was lower in Collier County and lower in Manatee County, only 5 to 25%. A little bit hard to determine the exact, but the unfortunate thing, it was 5 to 25% higher in Charlotte and Sarasota counties. That means they did samples, they took samples, and they found out compared to last week that the counts were a little bit higher in those counties, so that's not the best of news. Now, you may have seen this map as well. There's a little bit more yellow down here too into Lee County, so we're seeing a lot more yellow here. Not as widespread red here, which is good, and also we're noticing not much going on over the north end of Anna Maria Island, so that's also a pretty good sign. Again, those counts are high though, where you see the red. That's over 1 million cells per liter, which is extremely high. And some individual locations, again, you can see where those reds are located here. This is South Venice, Manasota Key showing up on the low end to medium end right there. And then Venice, and just a little bit northward, it is in the high category. Siesta Key, also the north end. We're reporting some high counts as well into New Pass and Big Pass. That's where it's concentrated the highest right now. And you'll notice Manatee County, not as many. In fact, the samples were down in that county as well. And the big questions we're getting right now is, when is this going away? That's the million-dollar question, folks. No one really knows and has a really good idea because sometimes they can go away on their own, and sometimes a big storm will come in and move them out. What we really need, I think, and a strong east wind to at least blow the impacts of the red tide offshore. It could still exist, however, in a larger pool of water, the cell count would have a tendency to go down, and it wouldn't be as close to the nutrient-rich area of the bay. However, with a west wind, which we are entering in now, it looks like it's going to kind of keep it hugged up right against the coast here, at least over the next couple of days. We'll have much more coming up throughout the newscast, and we have the midweek report coming out on Wednesday. And also, I'll get in touch with the Venice folks down there to find out what their count was for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at all the newscasts, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 11.